Many thanks for joining, dear viewers. You are watching OBN Horn of Africa. This is our weekly program, Diplomacy, and I'm Fantam Balete producing this program. In this edition, we will be discussing cultural diplomacy and educational exchanges between Ethiopia and France. I have some guests to interview here at Lycée Guébré-Mariam School for the educational exchanges and cultural exchanges, because there are other students who come from different countries in the world, having different diversified cultures. We'll have some discussion with teachers, students, and administration. Till the end of our program, stay with us, don't go anywhere.
Good morning, I'm Joseph Palmery, the headmaster of the Lycée Guébré-Mariam School. Lycée Guébré-Mariam School is an historical school in Ethiopia, Addis Ababa. This school strengthens the relationship between Ethiopia and France. It is considered as the bridge between our two countries. It indicates the friendship between Ethiopia and France, and it will continue.
Thank you very much. What's your name?
Alexandra Aoubé. I'm French, and I'm teacher here in French literature.
What can you tell us about this school?
This school is really famous, really old. It built in 1947, and I'm really glad and proud to teach to students here, because it's Haile Selassie who built the school with Charles de Gaulle, famous political man.
So in your French literature that you teach the students, how do you see the cultural diplomacy or cultural exchanges between the students here and in your country from your experience?
I think it's really important to teach French literature in Ethiopia, but to receive from the student all they know about culture of Ethiopia. We received 2 months ago Beketu Seyum, really famous poetry, and yes, what is really important for us is to exchange French literature and Ethiopian literature. It's really important to have this exchange.
Do you have any information about Ethiopian literature? Have you read books or whatever?
The 1980s, Addis Ababa. I don't remember the name of the author, but they speak about Addis and different area. Name is I don't remember. And the Beketu Seyum and wax and gold, famous tradition in Ethiopia. The gold is between the wax, and we have to discover the gold of the things from the Bible, I think so.
Thank you very much. What can you tell us about French literature then, that you teach?
I teach Arthur Rimbaud. He's really famous in Ethiopia, Arthur Rimbaud, because it's in Harar. You can visit the house of Arthur Rimbaud. So this year we teach Carnet de Douai from Arthur Rimbaud.
How do you see the cultural exchanges or cultural diplomacy in further cementing diplomatic relations between both countries, Ethiopia and France?
Yeah, I think it's really important that Ethiopian can go in France and French student can go in Ethiopia and to discover the culture of each other. So the French school all over the world are really important to make this potential of culture.
How do you see Ethiopia? How do you describe Ethiopia and its culture?
People are really kind but reserved. And it's a whole country with many things to discover, especially I can go to Tigray or the south of Ethiopia, so it's a culture really rich. And I think Ethiopia has to be, people has to come here. And sometimes they don't know exactly, it's just a dream. Haile Selassie, or old culture, Abyssinia. And I invite everyone to come and discover the kindness of people, because Ethiopian people are really kind, and yes, I'm happy to be here.
In promoting culture, Ethiopian culture and French culture to the students living in France and in Ethiopia, how do you see the role of this school, Lycée Guébré-Mariam School?
There are a lot of exchanges between Guébré-Mariam School and Toulouse. This is a city in the south of the France, and the university and a lot of students from Guébré-Mariam go to France to make higher studies in France, and after they stay in France, or if they come back, they have companies, they become doctors and engineers. And Toulouse is a really famous place in France with students from Ethiopia.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well.
What's your name?
I am Mrs. Bofis Jacqueline. I'm an English professor in Lycée Guébré-Mariam. This is my second year in Lycée. Initially I was from Brittany, and so I applied to come and teach here. So this is my second year.
Originally, where are you from?
From France and Britain. I've been working there for a couple of years, and of course, for us to be able to come to work in IFO, we do apply. And so I chose to come to Ethiopia because I have family members as well in Kenya, and so it was an opportunity for me to be able to see family as well as enjoy the work experience that Lycée Guébré-Mariam offers.
Thank you. What subject do you teach here?
I'm an English literature, so I target the 11th grade and the 12th grade students.
So how is teaching English literature to students who are particularly learning at Lycée Guébré-Mariam School? Because there are different types of students here from different nationalities.
Absolutely.
What can you tell us about those students first before coming to teaching English literature?
All right, so I would like to highlight that this is a wonderful experience. We have students who have a good general level of English. And so what I find here is pretty easier for those who are coming from Central Africa. I've worked also in Central Africa, something that I did not mention earlier, for 8 years. And we see they're Havanese because whilst they're here, most of the students tend to converse in English. So ideally, it's actually easier for those who are coming from different parts of Africa, specifically Central Africa. And so for me, experience was much easier than what we find the settings, teaching settings rather, in France. We are talking of level B2. We have students who are comfortable with the level C1 or C2, so it's really a good experience as a teacher that allows me really to go further in terms of teaching and also having creative activities so to take us a little bit further. So yeah, it's an amazing experience for me in person.
Yeah, let me ask you a similar question. There are diverse cultures that you can see here based on the nationalities of the students. So how did you manage these different cultures?
Different cultures, I think it also comes in me. So as I said, I am mixed, I'm French and British. And so having that kind of, already culture back at home kind of allows me to have a different vision. It is easy. I've had a lot of experiences, again, if I go back to Central Africa, where we find the French students and Central African students. So it's not really difficult, really. I think as a personality also matters as a person. I'm open-minded, and that kind of really plays a major role in tackling different levels or different students from different parts of the world. So generally, and it's a very welcoming institute. There's ease. And so that was not really a challenge for me. It's an advantage actually having this different profiles of students. So it's not really difficult as a teacher, I must say.
Thank you very much. You have a wonderful experience in teaching and traveling to different countries and having share with Africans. So how do you relate African literature with English literature? Because you teach English literature, but you have experienced it more of in your life African literature. So how do you relate, and what are the differences that you have found so far?
I don't know. Well, they're kind of similar because when it comes to literature itself, we target the Anglo-Saxon world. So if you're targeting Anglo-Saxon world, we have authors as Chimamanda Ngozi from Nigeria, as actually one of the books that we're studying this year, and novels we're studying for literature. So it's kind of basically we target different parts of the world. So literature again is not only the Anglo-Saxon world, but we also tend to talk about other authors from other parts of the world, which is essential whilst we talk about literature in general. Yeah.
How do you explain cultural diplomacy, for example, in teaching literature? There is culture, So, what's the role of culture for you in promoting diplomacy between countries, Ethiopia and France, for example?
Well, very interesting question, right? Well, when we talk about cultures, I mean, literature kind of opened doors. And always the term that I always tell my students is they are cultivated. It allows us to go to places that we're unable to go to. We tackle topics which are quite, at times could be quite extreme, quite things that we're not used to talk about. You know, it could be politics, it could be about mental health issues. So diplomacy, I think these are also things that kind of blend well when it comes to, you know, general knowledge. They go hand in hand, really. I don't know what I can really add there, but I think in general, we tackle everything in regards to the whole world, be it to, you know, whether it's environmental or, yeah, so we all, you know, we have students who will be good diplomats, you know, whatever parts of the world they'll go, they will be able to blend well. That is something we're providing them with, so yeah.
Which culture do you expect more on your students?
Well, in Lycée Guébré-Mariam, we will have more Americans. We have tendency of having students who are eyeing towards that part of the world. We also have Canada, which is a second choice of the students, right? And then comes third, France. Why Anglo-Saxon countries? Again, we are part of East Africa. Maybe that could be also part of it. They have family members in those parts of the world. So we do know as much as we're giving them. We are preparing for, you know, whatever part of the world they're going. So we know whether they go to the States or Canada or be it in France, they will be well, you know, they'll fit well.
What do you tell us about Lycée Guébré-Mariam School, the role that it has in promoting ties between Ethiopia and France and other countries that you have mentioned now? Is it difficult?
No, not at all. It's not difficult. Personally, I did my studies in France, so I am a good candidate to be here and able to, you know, tell the students what I lived as a student whilst I was in France. And so my role, or the role of Lycée Guébré-Mariam as a French institution, is to allow them to, you know the culture, which is essential, because I think that's where, you know, the language already it's done, so they do speak brilliant French. I think that is something that, you know, makes things easier for them. It's a very complex culture, the French culture. So they do speak the French language, and then the rest part of it is us as teachers to reassure them that we're coming from also different parts of the world, and we manage to, you know, to succeed thanks to the language and thanks to having the knowledge about what to expect when it comes to, you know, the French culture. Yeah.
Finally, how do you describe Addis or Finfinne in Ethiopia from a cultural point of view and your experience that you have been here for several years, I think? So how did you see the country and how did you describe? You can add your experience from cultural point of view.
All right, okay. So this is my second year in Addis Ababa. I love it. As I said, we have a lot of choices. We have choices in terms of where we want to teach. And my first choice was Ethiopia. I love the culture, the Orthodox. I mean, we have different, everything is different here. The music, the food, injera. I mean, it's a very beautiful culture, the language. And I find, you know, our students here, the Ethiopians are very respectful. This is something that we are losing in, you know, the rest of the world. There's always a hello. They're very polite, respectful, and it's something that I really admire about, you know, the country and our students, you know, in Lycée Guébré-Mariam. I love the food here. I love the people. I love going to different parts. I've been to Bishop too. It's a breath of, you know, fresh air, and so yeah. I mean, there's everything to love in Addis Ababa. I don't see what's not to like about the country. I feel comfortable here, and I love to stay longer if, you know, if time allows me to.
You have traveled to different countries.
Right.
Then you can see Ethiopia's diplomatic relations and historical ties with other countries.
Good.
So as a teacher, what can you tell us about diplomacy, whatever it is, cultural, economic, or public?
I think I will just give it a one word. It's being tolerant, accepting who we are, and the other as they are. It's all about tolerance, and that's essential. Once we get to accept that, then we're comfortable, we can fit in any part of the world that we go to. So tolerance, accepting other cultures, and celebrating actually other cultures is essential. It's something that we've forgotten to do. And just going back to the, earlier you asked me a question, one of the things that I love is there's tolerance in this school. We love each other from who we are, we celebrate each other's cultures, and today is a very good showcasing. We see, teachers from different parts of the world, and because we are tolerant, So, diplomacy cannot work if we're not tolerant. That will not work. So we accept each other, cultures, languages, it's food, it's everything. That's all about tolerance,
Thank you very much. Nice to meet you.
Hi, nice to meet you too. My name is Liben, and I am a senior at Lycée Guébré-Mariam.
Since when?
Since when? I have been at Lycée for about 15 years, since I was 3. And I really like it here.
How do you explain your school and its teaching process?
So Lycée is an international school, which means that it's a mix of a lot of different backgrounds. Students come here from all over, and it's really nice because you have a sense of community here because you've been here for many years. The teaching is really different from other schools because we follow a French curriculum, which means that most of the classes are in French, but we also have languages like English, Spanish, and Amharic.
Where were you born?
Here at Addis Ababa.
So how do you differentiate the cultures that you have seen here and from your original culture, Ethiopian? Do you mix it?
I personally mix it because here, when you're here, you're in contact with many different cultures. There's the French part with the classes. There's people who come from different countries, so you get a sense of their culture too. And there's also the Ethiopian culture because the majority of the school is Ethiopian, so you also get a sense of that. So I mix it,
In Lycée Guébré-Mariam School, how do you promote your culture, Ethiopian?
So there are many extracurricular activities that are present at this school. There's a lot of sports that are here, but for Ethiopian culture, there's this one club that is called the Theater Club, that they have like Amarinya theater that is presented, but I'm not really involved in that. I just do like tutoring and stuff like that.
What language do you speak?
I speak French, English, and Amharic.
You have spent some 13 years here in this school, right? So which culture do you prefer?
I don't prefer any culture, but since I'm biased, I say I like the Ethiopian culture better because it has like a sense of community, but also it's very diverse, the Ethiopian culture, since there's many ethnic groups. It's very diverse, there's a lot of culture, whereas other cultures have like a more centered one.
As a student, what opportunities do you foresee in this school?
The school offers many opportunities. The main one that people follow is going to France, and it's really easy to go to France because they give you the visa right away, whereas for other countries like the US or Canada, it's harder, but they offer a lot of resources. So for example, I'm not going to France, I'm going to the US. So really, like, there's a lot of opportunities that you have, and the teachers are very helpful when it comes to this, so you just have to reach out to them.
What do you want to be in the future?
So I'm not sure what I want to be, but I am studying international politics in next year when I go to university. So yeah, that's what I want to do.
Which university are you planning to join?
I'm going to George Washington University, which is in Washington, D.C. in the U.S. So yeah.
Do you have anything special to say to viewers watching us?
Oh, okay. If you're considering putting your child in Lycée, I really highly recommend it. It's a really great school, although it is hard because it's a language that not a lot of people speak in Ethiopia, but it's really good. It fosters a sense of community. When you finish at Lycée, you become a family with your classmates, so I really advise you sending your kids here.
Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for your time. What's your name?
My name is Hidase Samson. I am a student at Lycée Guébré-Mariam. I am a senior this term.
Since when?
Since when have I been a student here? Well, I've been here for the past decade, so 10 years ago. But I did do my elementary school here before leaving as well, so yeah.
So what can you tell us about this school?
This school, well, I can tell you that it's a very diverse community that you find here, whether it be within, for the teachers and for the students. We've been taught to speak many languages. We follow mainly our courses in French, so whether we study maths, politics, literature, our main focus is French, and then other languages are thrown in left and right. And yeah, I think it's a very healthy environment for students to grow and learn, not only in an education sense of the term, but also life in society, life in community, with friends, with teachers. Yeah, it's a very lovely environment to be in.
Where were you born? In Ethiopia? Where?
Yes, I was born here. I'm born and raised in Addis Ababa for the most part. And yeah.
Did you join any other school before joining to Lycée Guébré-Mariam?
Well, pre-elementary, I was in a kindergarten. It's Fidel, so it's a French kindergarten. And then I joined a French school afterwards. I've been in the French system my entire life.
Even if you joined this school, you have experienced some Ethiopian cultures.
Yes, very much. Well, by the fact that I have lived in this country means that I have moved around in Addis a lot, moved around in the rest of Ethiopia a lot. But it's mainly, for the most part, as a tourist and not necessarily as a citizen. But I'm very close with the culture as well, whether it be in language, food, clothes, everything. Yeah.
So how did you find the culture, the diverse cultures that you can see here?
The main part in being able to navigate such a big society as we have here is knowing your own identity, first of all. I know myself as a Habasha, I've grown up in this country, and I find the beauty in all the different cultures. I don't necessarily have to be part of them. They don't have to be very different from me. If you look at it from the perspective that we're all humans, we're all people, and every single culture has beauty to it, then you get to appreciate small things, wear jewelry from different cultures, eat food and talk different languages and whatnot. It teaches you a lot about life on this planet as humans.
How are you promoting your culture, Ethiopian culture?
Well, since we're majoritarily...
For example, I see traditional clothes on you.
Yes.
That's one part of promoting your culture.
Yes, it is. I'm a big fan of my own traditional clothing. I like to wear it, whether it be jewelry, hair, everything. I like to wear it on my casual things, not just for celebrations. But we do have multiple events in the school, culture days, music days, we do theater, book clubs for Amharic, to promote Ethiopian culture, to promote Ethiopian theater, dances, music, food, and the same things happen for every other culture. So cultural days, we have West Africans, Italians, French, Americans that come and promote their culture, show how their lifestyle is, and Ethiopians play a big role in that in the school as well, since, well, it ends up being our country, so yeah.
How do you tell us the value of culture then?
The value of culture for every individual?
Yes.
Well, for every individual, it helps you build your own identity. To be able to say, I am from this place, I speak this language, I can dress in this way. It helps you know yourself as an individual. Also, it helps build community. That way I know that I'm always welcome. I always have a home when I come back here because, well, this ends up being my culture. And it helps you build your own identity as a person. And also to be able to see things, not necessarily have to be part of every different culture you see. You don't have to force yourself to be like other people and whatnot, because you have your own culture, you have your own people, and it's the most convenient thing there could be on this planet. It's truly a blessing.
Have you ever felt that you are an ambassador of Ethiopia in promoting Ethiopia in this school?
Yes, many times actually, especially now I'm a senior and I take political courses. So there are big reunions including diplomats and foreigners that come to present themselves and present their causes. Whenever we're interviewed as students, whenever we're asked by foreigners to explain exactly how our point of view is, we do speak on behalf of this great nation. We speak on behalf of the many Ethiopian students that are here and the many Ethiopian citizens that are in this country. Yeah.
What is your future plan, either in your career or in promoting your country?
Well, already, I think by the fact that Ethiopian students are found in big schools internationally is a big part of promoting Ethiopian culture and showing that the potential is very much present in this country. I plan on continuing my studies in Europe. I plan on entering diplomacy, political sciences, and in there, a certain representation of the nation could be extremely helpful in promoting the fact that people know that we exist, that it's a real country with real people and real potential in it.
Being a student at Lycée Guébré-Mariam School, what opportunities do you expect?
Already, the opportunities we have is access to such a great education by such great professors and a great system. With that comes multiple opportunities to enter foreign universities, mainly in France, since the certificate we come out with is our baccalaureate, our certificate is a very valued certificate, and it's one we work very hard for. So with that comes access to multiple universities. Scholarships are a bit more complicated they're very complicated actually, but education in France as a lycée student is very accessible. It's the base. It's where everyone is expected to go, and that's what we expect to access as students here.
Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much. It was a pleasure. Thank you.
Nice to meet you.
Hello, Soy Marta. I'm one of the Spanish teacher at Guébré-Mariam.
Thank you very much. You teach Spanish here?
Yeah, from I began this year. I just came in Ethiopia, and I'm working here for 3-4 months. Yeah.
So how did you join this school?
I'm very happy to be here. Yeah, I know very well the French system because I did my studies in the French system, and I like because it's a very international school. There are children, students for all over the world. They talk a lot of languages. They are really, really curious about languages, so it's a pleasure to work with them.
You teach students from diversified culture and nationalities. So how do you manage your students, and what difference or what challenges have you faced so far in teaching this diversified culture?
But there is, as it's a French school, the French is la lengua franca. We all have more or less the capacity to speak French, and from French is the pivot languages. And for the culture, we nourish each other with the younger one in 5e. I have a class where all together they speak about 60 languages. So we teach each other new things. It's really, really rich. It's really interesting.
What's your name?
My name is Jerusalem Beck. So I'm a French and Ethiopian. And I grew up in France, and I came back to Ethiopia to be a French teacher at Lycée Guébré-Mariam.
What subjects do you teach here?
I teach French literature.
What can you tell us about French culture and Ethiopian culture? You can tell us the difference and similarities of French and Ethiopian culture from your experience and knowledge.
So the French culture, maybe I would say like the French culture is like really based on literature, like knowing authors, maybe some quotes. French authors in general in the world are very famous. And the Ethiopians one is quite different. The literature approach is maybe just some authors, but they have both cultures have like a really deep love for their cultures, whether it's French culture or the Ethiopians. They all love deeply their culture. So that's maybe the main aspects you can find in both cultures. The love, the deep love, and the roots in their culture, both of them.
There are diversified students here, but you teach one subject which is of literature of other country.
Yeah.
So how do you manage your students?
Oh, actually, it's not the easiest because in some countries, when you are in the French schools, they have a deep root with the French colonialism or just French culture. And here in Ethiopia, they maybe not have the same approach with the history between France and Ethiopia. But most of the students, they are mostly Ethiopians, and they either have their parents or grandparents that came from Lycée. So they have a good knowledge of the culture. Literature-wise or French-wise, it's not the easiest because French is hard. And we know with the vocabulary and writing in French is not the easiest for them, but they speak, perfect French, and they are willing to work. Their behavior is great, so I think they're just like willing to work, and most of them will go anyway in France or in Europe or in America. So just it's something for their future.
What is the role of this school in promoting culture or diplomacy between both countries, France and Ethiopia, for you?
Yeah, I think like here for the students, there's like, it's an old school, it's very old school. So the relationship between France and Ethiopia is quite, at least diplomatic wise. With this school, it's very important. It's the French approach that you find in Ethiopia. It's maybe the only French school in Ethiopia, and also it's linked with the French embassy. So it's quite political and also cultural. And also many of the students here will go to France, and some of them will do politics. Either it's just embassies or ministries, either in France or here.
What's your message for viewers watching us?
Read books, go to the museum, each to the other one, be curious. It's a way to be in peace in life.
Thank you very much for your time.
Okay, thanks a lot. Have a good day. Goodbye.
What's your message for viewers watching us?
Viewers, well, we welcome you to Lycée Guébré-Mariam. This is a very beautiful institution. As I mentioned earlier, we're all from different parts of the world, be it teachers, be it the students. There's a good ambiance, we can feel it, and we have a very wonderful crowd today. So not just because today is a special open day, but we're all welcome to pop in and have a look, and get to know us better. There's more to know from the students and also from from the teachers' perspective. So yeah, so bienvenue, if I have to say it in French.
Yeah, in French you can say something.
Well, bienvenue. No, just the word bienvenue. Welcome all. Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
I really appreciate for your time.
Thank you so much. It was really wonderful having this interview with you. And I hope we see you next year again.
Yeah, sure.
Good. Thank you.
Dear our esteemed viewers, this brings us to the end. Thank you for watching this program. We will meet you with other program next time. Till then, stay safe.